I'm pretty sure you just made that up. This is one of those things I find myself saying to my clients all the time. And to be fair, most of what most of us know about the criminal justice system and about the criminal justice process comes from TV. And like everything else on TV, it's just not real. So today we're going to cover the top 3 myths that I hear about what happens when you get arrested. Let's start with myth number 3. I often hear the myth that you can't be held in jail without a bail. You just made that up. This is absolutely not true. Remember that little jingle we used to sing when we were kids? You're going to jail without a bail. Actually, now that I say that out loud, that probably was not normal, and that probably was just me and my cousins. Who would have thought this would be my life? Okay, focus. The truth is, you can be held in jail without a bail. In some jurisdictions, there are some crimes that do not come with an automatic right to bail. For example, where I practice, murder is one of those crimes. If you are charged with murder, you are not automatically released to bail. You're not automatically given a bail. So you could be held in jail the entire time you are waiting on your trial without a bail. There are various other reasons that you could be held without a bail also. For example, if you are arrested and you are on probation or on parole, either of those agencies could request a hold until your violation of probation or parole is resolved. You could also be held without a bail as a result of a no bond hold for some reason, or because you had a prior bond that was revoked for some reason. So it is absolutely true. You can be held in jail without a bail. Number 2, you have to talk to the police if you are arrested. You just made that up. This is absolutely not true. But let's flesh this out a little more so you can understand what you are required to do. You do have to identify yourself to the police. So that means if the police request your identification, your ID card, your driver's license, or even your car registration, you do have to provide this information. And in some places, it could be a crime to refuse to identify yourself to the police. However, you do not have to talk to the police in a way that you incriminate yourself or in a way that could be used against you later. And sometimes this happens through just small talk where you blurt things out without even being asked questions. But let's talk about a common example where a simple conversation with a police officer could lead to incriminating information that is in fact used against you later. So let's say a friendly officer pulls me over and he says, "Good evening, ma'am." And I say, "Hello, Mr. Officer." And he then responds, "Where are you coming from this evening?" And I say, "Oh, I just left the bar." Well, in that situation, that's just friendly small talk where the officer is engaging in conversation when he pulls me over. However, in the event that I am charged with drunk driving, that statement that I was just leaving the bar is going to end up in his police report. So I want to be very clear. You should be polite to officers. They're out just doing a hard job. You should be cooperative with officers, but you certainly don't have to engage in conversation and reveal things that could be used against you later. And now, the most common myth, the number 1 myth that I hear about getting arrested is the police did not read me my rights, and so my arrest was not legal. This is literally the most common one that I hear. Everyone thinks this, and it is absolutely not true. What has happened is that TV has ruined this for us. When you see an arrest on TV, what happens? The handcuffs go on, the hands are behind the back, and the first thing you hear, "You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law." This right relates to when you are questioned by the police. Literally listen to what it is saying. You have a right to remain silent. What they are saying to you is that you have a right against self-incrimination. They do not have to tell you anything about your rights not to be put in handcuffs, people. You just made that up. It is absolutely not true. And I get it. We see it on TV over and over and over. However, we also see on TV where a crime is committed, the crime is solved, a suspect is found, and the person goes to trial all within an hour. And it drives me crazy. But I get it. That is where most of us are exposed to the criminal justice system. But it's just not true. And so that's why you need to keep coming on over to Katie the Closer TV to get the truth. So what's our weekly wisdom? First, if you are arrested, you absolutely can be held without a bail. Second, if you are arrested or even if you are just pulled over, you do not have to engage in conversation with the police. You should be polite, you should be cooperative, but other than identifying yourself, you do not have to engage in conversation that could lead to you incriminating yourself. And finally, even if the police do not read you your rights, that does not mean that your arrest was not legal. But most importantly, what you see on TV is not real. So to get the real deal, keep on coming over to Katie the Closer TV for more weekly wisdom. That's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to hear more myths about the justice system that maybe I didn't cover here, please leave that in the comments below. Or if you'd like to hear me talk about other topics and give real legal information to real people in a real way, please subscribe to Katie the Closer TV so that you get future video notifications.